Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco, Dish Out on the Movies. We are reviewing Chucky's latest episode. It's episode 4, and it's called Dress to Kill. And I really liked it a lot. I don't know about Marco. He's a lot more critical, but there was just some things in it. I just thought it was I don't know. I thought there was some weird stuff in it that would never happen in real life. And I just don't know what to say about that kind of thing. With a show like this, should you make it in certain respects like this? We'll get to it, but should it be exactly like it is in real life, or at least a little bit closer to it than just completely off the wall? Or... And I'm not talking stuff about Chucky at all. I'm talking about the prison where Jennifer Tilly goes. And we'll talk about it, but I'm not talking about the supernatural stuff at all. I'm talking about the other, which is just a basic, thing. So anyway, I liked it, and this is where the White House has a Halloween party, and of course the 3 kids, Lexi, Devin, and what's his name?
Gay Jake.
Jake are going, and of course it's a costume party. It's Halloween. So everybody who goes is dressed in Halloween costumes, and even Chucky is dressed for Halloween. Okay, so go ahead, Marco.
Well, Safi, it should be stated, Safi has a bit of a bias towards Halloween-themed episodes, They're really,
yes, I do.
Yeah, they're really. So you see, you admit it right there. Like,
well, I just didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
at all.
I did, because I know that you have a bias towards it. But see, I don't. So I was able to see, like, look, this episode was bad, and this show's trash. Nothing about it is. It's just like we're watching it to review it. That's that. Like, this show has become a complete joke. It's destroyed the characters a million times and over, and you just can't take it seriously. And these characters, like, just everything that happens is just so bad. Like, they can't even answer like basic questions. Like, remember in season 1, the thing with where they didn't show them going to the hospital. They didn't show what happened at the end of episode 3. They just jumped right into the hospital because they're fucking lazy-ass piece of shit writers who can't write.
He's talking about the last season.
No, I'm talking about season 1, Safi.
Season 1. Okay.
And, this is the same type of thing where, they're still doing these lazy-ass episodes where they don't explain anything. They just go through what they want to go through because they know that their fans are so stupid that they won't care. They won't care. They'll just say, oh, you just don't like this show because the main characters are gay. Like, that's the only thing that they'll say. They won't defend any of the bad writing in this show because they don't know. They can't recognize it, I guess. I mean, this show is so badly written, it's like a preschooler could have written it. It's like, at the beginning of the episode, the First Lady, she knows that the kids' mother has been killed brutally.
This is another thing, too.
She knows. And she doesn't do anything. She doesn't even care. Okay. She doesn't even talk about it. She doesn't even bring it up. It's like, what a stupid... Like, this show just sucks. It's just terrible. It's like, who writes this shit? Who gets paid for this? What? They dared to have a strike after they write shit like this? And then the kids... They're just able to just magically get these fucking costumes.
Yeah, I wondered about that.
Just magically they can pay for everything. Just magically they can get to the White House. It's like, this show is just, it's the worst thing ever. It's not as bad as American Horror Story this season, but it is pretty bad. And it's there's nothing you can say to excuse this. Like, oh, it's a Halloween episode. It's really fun. Shut up.
Yes, I didn't like any of what he's talking about too. I just ignored it, but
you can't ignore it. How did they get to the White House?
I just think they must have gotten a credit card and they're just using it.
I wonder how long that's going to last. Why don't they even show that? Why don't they even explain this? Why don't they just have one? Like, why does the First Lady not care that these children are walking around town? They don't have a fucking parent. It's bad enough they did this in Your Honor season 1 where they let Eugene just run around the city rampant. But this just takes the cake. They're in the fucking White House.
I know, and so that was another thing. The way they ended it, I'm not going to go through anything yet, but where do they go after the party? Do they get in a cab and go home back to the hotel? Where do they go? How did they get there? That's what I was wondering too.
Like, they don't even show that.
That's where it's left off.
I thought that
at the end of the party.
I thought that they were going to have some Home Alone 2 Lost in New York shit, where they're wandering around town and they get in a cab and they're like, it's scary out there. And then the cab driver's like, it ain't much better in here, kid. Remember that, Safi?
Yeah.
That was hilarious. Or,
was.
With the prostitutes, like, you want us to read you a bedtime story? Like, I thought that they were going to do some shit like that. But no, they don't even attempt to do that because they're such shitty writers. They can't handle that. It's just basic writing. They can't handle it.
Yeah, well, actually, there were two like, parallel situations going on in this show. Maybe more than that. But the basic two are Jennifer Tilly goes to prison. The other one is the Halloween party at the White House, and they're looking for Chucky. The kids are. And then 3 are all the undercurrent things, like you have several characters. They introduce several characters associated with the White House. I don't know who these people are. Like, there was one, she was dressed up as Mary Poppins. She is actually a cast member, and probably a new one because I don't recognize her.
I could tell she's SNL.
She's from Saturday Night Live.
I could.
I read
right off the bat, I was like, yeah, that's definitely an SNL actress.
Well, they had, after the episode, they had some kind of explanation video, like what they did behind the scenes and how they set up the shots. And, and then, of course, you have the part with Chucky. What's Chucky doing? What's Chucky wearing? Is he wearing a costume? Is the little boy wearing a costume? Is the teenage boy wearing a costume? Are the parents wearing costumes? I mean, that sounds like a stupid question, but believe it or not, it's significant. Because apparently Chucky wears the Phantom in the Opera costume. And, of course, they call him Joseph, because a little boy, I guess, dubbed him the name Joseph, and that is the name because I think the party is dedicated to his brother, Joseph, who died, I guess, a year ago from Halloween, and he dressed up as the Phantom of the Opera. So they have Chucky, and then the father sees it looks like Chucky, but it actually looks like a kid dressed up as, and it probably is, Phantom of the Opera running around the party. So they have that. So you have all these undercurrent little storylines, but the part I liked the best was the part, except it was ridiculous, and Marco and I both recognized that immediately. Jennifer goes to prison. And she has tough guards, you think, but that part was the part I liked the best.
Now that part was fun, although it was not like, it's like, okay, this is fun, but it's not Chucky. Like, this show is like, it's just a huge joke, and I just can't take that seriously, and it's like, that's really fun, but again, It's not Chucky. This is not what we came to watch.
And
I don't know why they're doing that. It's like they're just dragging on the Jennifer Tilly storyline to the point of where
I think they're just doing that to help enhance their
I
low standard writing.
Yeah, I think it's to elevate the show because they know that it's fun at least, and so, it's really fun. But
this part I really like the best. I
Well,
hope you get to.
well, can we get through the bad stuff so that we can talk about that story afterwards? Because let's go through the whole White House story, and I will say,
It's just bizarre.
Teddy the child, he is a good actor. And he's really good with Chucky, and it's too bad that, the show wasn't well written, because I would have really liked to have seen him with Chucky in a serious show or movie, written by someone with talent. And but that wasn't the case here. This was it was bad. Safi, let's go.
Well, the kid, like I said, everybody comes in. You have to wear a costume. So what are Jake and the rest wearing?
They're dressed up like good guy dolls.
Which is really weird because I'm like, I just went to Goodwill today because I have a Chucky mask, and I found overalls to wear, but they're not denim, which is what he wears. I can't because they're really hard to come by. I have found a cotton pair of denim, Gloria Vanderbilt, and then but they all had a version of a denim outfit, and Jake was a cowboy, and Devin was a construction worker, and I'm thinking, they're gay, and I'm thinking of that YMCA group, and they wear these clothes. I think they wear these exact kind of clothes. A construction worker, correct me if I'm wrong, like a cowboy hat guy, and there's some other people, and the whole group is gay, and it's a really cool song.
The Village People? Oh,
the
right
Village
there.
People. That's it.
So
There's
the cowboy and the construction
Yeah,
worker.
I told you.
Well,
And so I
that is
thought,
very similar.
Are they trying to beat the Village People?
I don't know.
And then you have Lexi, and she has a very cute denim short dress, but they're all wearing the same Chucky shirt, the striped shirt. I looked everywhere. I could not find a multicolored like that. It's red, maybe yellow, and blue. I don't know, striped shirt, and I couldn't find anything like that. So I ended up getting a black striped shirt, or it might be blue, navy blue, to go with the black denim, black cotton overalls. And then I do have a really good mask that we got at the Halloween
Spirit Halloween
last year.
So anyways, back to the show.
Back to the show.
You can talk about that on Halloween, where you're trying to get out of doing your videos, by the way.
What are you talking about?
We'll talk about that later. So we get to the White House, and it's really hilarious because most of this episode is just them searching around for people, searching around for Chucky, and then they get with the stoner kid, and he takes them upstairs, and this is the hilarious part, is like they're just wandering around the White House, and
which never would happen.
And
there's this day and age.
There's cameras everywhere, and it's just
surveillance cameras. They have rooms with surveillance cameras.
And they even said that at the beginning of the episode. The private investigator, he's like, "We're gonna be surveilling everything, and we got all these teams working to surveil the party and everything." And it's like
full of it. It's not even funny.
Oh, why aren't they surveilling these kids just running rampant around the White House? Like, is that not part of surveillance for the White House?
And they don't really know them.
Oh. No, they just run around, and then Lexi takes him into his room. She does her little slut thing that she does all the time now. I guess her character's just a full-time slut. And so, that's what she does, and, that's just cringeworthy, obviously, and they're
looking for Chucky.
They're not able to find him. It's very boring. It's just like, none of this is realistic. What are we doing here? Can we like get a better written show now instead of watching whatever this is? Like, I don't want to watch this trash.
And then they have this Mary Pop. Like I said, there's all these. I'd say there's like 2 or 3, at least, characters that just pop up associated with the White House, and we have this Mary Poppins character. I'm like, who is she?
She's in charge with like taking care of the kid or something, like a nanny or something.
She's kind of like a nanny, and so.
And she was such a bad actress.
No, she wasn't that great. I've never seen her. I think she's new.
She was really bad, and she said this line about like, I've seen all these ghosts in the White House. I saw this one woman doing her laundry, and I saw Andrew Jackson, and he swears like a sailor. And it's like, I didn't know whether or not to believe her because she was just so bad at acting that I couldn't tell if she was being like sarcastic to him or if she was actually telling him the truth. Like, it was that bad at acting. And you could tell that she was just a character that was there to get killed. That's the only reason they brought her in, so that they can kill her off, have something to do.
Just a side note, I did read, because I've never really heard anything about these, quote, ghosts in the White House, which kind of makes sense that there would be. It's been around for a long time. A lot of different people have lived there. A lot of different people have visited there. And yes, they talked about Abigail Adams doing laundry and people seeing her do the laundry.
Yeah.
And then you talk about Abraham Lincoln, and that's really all I know. I didn't go into the article really deeply, but so when she says that, maybe she did.
It didn't. By the way, it didn't help that the meals that we ate for dinner were bad too. We ate these Gordon Ramsay meals, and they were terrible.
They're horrible.
And so that just made the episode even worse. Like, we had a meager dinner. I was wanting to be like Oliver Twist and be like, please, sir, can I have some more?
Except I don't know if we'd want more of that.
No.
So, anyway, so yeah, she's there to get killed. So she becomes the next victim. But I think, and they didn't really...
No.
They didn't really say it for sure, but I think there was more than just her.
Yeah, well, that part was the funniest part of the episode, because they're in the middle of this party, and there's a couple minutes left in the episode, and you're wondering, oh, what's gonna happen? Somebody's gonna get murdered! And it's really hilarious, because the chandelier, the woman, Mary Poppins, picks up the screw for the chandelier, and instead of anyone doing anything, they literally all just stand there and wait for the chandelier to fall on them.
You know that's what's going to happen.
It's just so bad. It's like, you can't make this up. It is so badly written. It's like, I'm more excited for Goosebumps tomorrow, because I think that'll be better than what this Chucky episode was.
Yeah, it was really gross. It's not the only murder in the episode. It's the only... Well, in this scene, because of what Chucky says, and I don't know if it was to show a scene from next week or he said it in this episode. Maybe you'll recall, but it's not just Mary Poppins that gets killed. It's a really big, wide...
Heck, it kills this group of people who just stand there and watch it fall down.
There's multiple people who were killed by this weird modern, it wasn't old at all, chandelier.
And it was so funny because even in Clue, remember Clue? Even in Clue, they moved out of the way for the chandelier. Like in a comedy movie. And it's just a straight up comedy. They moved out of the way. Colonel Mustard, he sees, he moves out of the way, like, but he at first he didn't notice it because he had his back turned. But he moved out of the way. But in Chucky, none of them move out of the way.
They just look up.
Yeah.
And it's shaking. It's starting to shake. And at that point, I would have been running the hell out of there.
Yeah, and like nobody else even says anything like "Get out of the way!"
No,
Like they just stand there. Like it has to happen because it's a show.
And but the thing is, this is a heavy, like thick, very wide, circular chandelier. Modern. Like, what's that Swedish place? Like something like from there. And, IKEA. Sorry. And, she gets after the chandelier falls, and all these people get snuffed out, Mary Poppins gets up and starts walking, and her face peels off.
It's pretty bad.
I thought that was why.
It looks so fake and phony. It's like they were just.
She loved doing that. I bet that was fun for her, but I didn't get it.
Oh,
Why
no.
did that happen?
Oh, I know. It's because they were trying to copy Breaking Bad. You know, where Gus gets blown up, and then he walks out of the room and adjusts his tie, and then he falls down. Remember?
Yep.
They were copying Breaking Bad.
I guess, but
which is a strange choice.
Never happened.
Yeah.
This thing is weighty. It's huge and weighty and thick.
And then also we should mention that the kids go up to the son and they ask him, "Where is Chucky?" They're sick of, doing what they're searching. So they get straight to the point. "Where's Chucky? Where's Teddy?" Or whatever. And he's like, "Oh, so you guys were never my friends all along." It's really bizarre. Like he jumps to that conclusion. It's so bad.
They could have been his friends very easily. I didn't like that.
That was weird and contrived.
Because he really is lonely. They show him, and even though, you're talking about the supernatural stuff and comical stuff and unreal stuff, that part of it, I can't even imagine what that would be like. And plus his brother died a year ago, and we have no idea how. We have no idea the circumstances of his death. Like, was he sick? Did he disappear? Did he just die from an illness? We have no idea. No clue. Which I think is really bad. Maybe they haven't figured it out yet.
The writers?
Yeah.
They're like, "Ooh, how should we have him die? Ooh, we should have it be like dramatically like similar to some Chucky death or something. Like, ooh, what should we do?" So let's think about that while we're on strike for our terrible writing. Ooh.
So should we tell him it was this thing with Chucky? He takes off his mask, and you see what he looks like now. And remember,
he does that at the very end, yeah. And he was like, "Give me the power now! I just did all the murders in the White House, even though
more than enough." Because remember,
there was no logic to doing it in the White House at all. And then
multiple people got killed in that. That's when we find out that multiple people, although it's really not hard to figure it out, that multiple people died from that chandelier crashing down to the ground, not just Mary Poppins. And
so, anyways,
he says, "I killed more than enough people."
He does not get the power. He looks in the mirror, and he is just getting older and older, and grosser and grosser.
He's losing his hair. He's got a wrinkled old face.
It's pretty gross, but it's like, yeah, who cares? So, so now let's get to the good storyline, because Jennifer Tilly's storyline was better because it was more entertaining. So it was the best parts of the episode. Like all the rest of the episode, I was like, fuck this shit. I don't give a fuck about this shit.
Okay,
Safi?
Well, Jennifer Tilly goes to prison. Now, when you go to prison, I think we've heard, lately especially, and also over the years, you watch these movies, and although, they exaggerate things for the drama, bending over and being naked,
what?
And taking showers.
Bending over and being naked? What the hell?
Yeah.
What is that? What you wanted Jennifer Tilly to do?
Well, I mean, They were just pretend like they're doing it.
Oh,
she's allowed to
just
wear
pretend.
her low-cut dress, like it's an evening dress.
Yeah, she's got on a dress and rings and
high
jewelry,
heels.
everything that she has at home.
And she doesn't have to give up her jewelry. I mean,
That's
everything. They take that all away.
Yeah, that is totally like fiction bullshit. Like, I don't even know, like, how is it that, like, just like any show or movie, like, I don't care how low of a budget it is, like, any show or movie where someone's in prison, they show them having all their stuff taken away. Like, these writers can't even do that? They're that incompetent? They can't handle having her be put in prison uniform? Like, seriously?
And then she says she's expecting a box of religious objects to come.
Yeah, which I thought, you know, that is realistic. That would happen if she was really, like, insistent that it was a religious object thing, then she would be given it. Yeah. So that was fun.
So this is the key to the fun of the episode. So then she meets this woman. She's kind of like a Martha Stewart character. I think it's a woman who's been in My Fat Greek Wedding or whatever that movie is. I've never seen it. Sorry.
She's the woman who wrote the recipe for Swedish meatballs, which is, of course, Chucky's favorite and her favorite. And it's the recipe that she cooked in Bride of Chucky at the beginning of that. And so this is kind of like, ooh, look, she gets to meet her favorite cooking author. Ooh, that's fun. And it was fun.
But she is in prison, like Martha Stewart went to prison for insider trading. But anyway, she's in prison because she made a stew out of her husband and his girlfriend. I think that's what she said.
Yeah.
So she and Jennifer become good friends, but then she said, well, I really liked you in this movie, I think that Marco's saying that I have, and it's an 80s movie. And
The Big Chill.
And
which
I've really in it?
I've never seen that, so but she's probably in it.
Well, and she said, I just loved you in that movie, and Jennifer says, well, that's really nice. I'm glad, but that wasn't me. That was my sister, and I killed her. And the woman got really pissed. And she said, I have a sister and I really miss her a lot. And that's a horrible thing what you did. And I don't want to have anything to do with you.
Yeah, so, you know, killing her husband... killing her husband... Okay, Safi, get out. Leave the room. Go take a nap. Have a time out. She's perfectly okay with killing her husband and her his girlfriend, but then killing a sister, that's just wrong. And so she's pretty bad. She's really unlikable, and actually Jennifer Tilly did do a good job acting in this episode. Like, it wasn't like last week where she was like just totally out of it and not interested in acting. But what ends up happening is she teaches like a cooking class to the prisoners, which I don't think that would be allowed to happen either.
Well, Martha Stewart did this thing where they had these fruit trees on the prison, outside the prison, and she collected the fruit, whatever it was, and it could have been like some kind of cherries or something, and they got mad at her. But she was able to make some kind of like a jelly or marmalade or something.
But still, she's doing like a demonstration with all these utensils after she's committed murder. Yeah. And she's doing this for like all these prisoners. And Jennifer uses something from her to do a voodoo ritual where she controls this woman. And it is very, very gross. It is very, very like, it's probably the worst kill in the whole series. Because it's just like non-stop, like relentless violence,
torture,
and it's pretty bad, and in a good way. And so that was very enjoyable.
The woman said, the actress said she loved doing it.
Safi was really grossed out too.
It was gross. It was so awful. They had this thing where, and she got the peeler and she was peeling her fingers.
Yeah,
God.
that was bad. And so
then at the end of it, after all this knife torture where she cut her hands and then she peeled her fingers and God, then she had a big, like she was making a stew or something, and she had this big pot, in a restaurant kitchen. You have these big, gigantic pots.
And she pulled a sleepaway camp on herself, and she dunked herself in there after also putting her face in the fryer. And so, like, that's what you call overkill.
And the guard was just standing there. All the prisoners were standing there like, what the hell?
Yeah, that was also another strange thing, but still, it was fun. I like that part. And lastly, she is starting to control the main prison guard, which is this, Texas woman, and she's like, you shouldn't have killed someone in Texas because you know what happens when you kill people in Texas. And,
yeah, because in 3 weeks or something, she's getting executed. That doesn't happen either. We have all kinds of people doing these multiple shootings, and they're still sitting on whatever.
You get put on death row, and then your date just randomly comes up, just they pull it out of a hat or something. And, so she controls the prison guard after getting her gum, which she spat out on her plate, which I thought that was funny because, I thought since Tiffany is like bisexual that she would like to have that gum for other reasons, but then she controlled the prison guard and she's going to basically have the prison guard help her escape. And I thought like that was fun. So like I would, in terms of not food, but in terms of a rating, I would give the Jennifer Tilly storyline an A+ because it was a lot of fun, even though it was stupid and pointless and not Chucky. And then I would give all the other story in the White House an F- because I just couldn't care less. So
well, probably then if you average the two parts together, it's a C.
Yeah.
So.
Safi?
Well, I think I have to do the same thing. I've just, the thing with Chucky, I mean, he loosened a screw at the top of a chandelier. I mean, really tall. I just don't know how he would have done it. And this thing about them walking around the White House, their guardian is dead. Nothing is talked about that.
Yeah, nothing. It's not even mentioned or anything.
And I'm like,
it's
what's going on?
It's just
here?
laughable.
And their ability to freely go out and get costumes. Like I said, I just went today just to get a stupid shirt to go with for the Chucky outfit. It wasn't easy. It took me forever. I was gone so much longer, and I was also looking for something for Marco's project. And getting a couple of things which was easy to do, like sweaters, because it's sweater weather, so people are buying sweaters. But anyway, I mean, they were all dressed impeccably, very simple costumes, but where did they get them? Where did they get the money? I mean, there's just all these little, they just fudge over them. But
yeah.
The biggest thing is their guardian was murdered.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa. What is going to happen? It's
actually kind of sad for that actress because she just they put her back in the show and then they took her away and they don't even talk about her. It's like Mr. X from the X-Files all over again.
Yep. So anyway, because of those defects, and I think they're pretty big. Although it just seems like the kids had a lot of fun on Halloween, but that thing, there's just too many empty spaces.
Yeah.
I don't like empty spaces.
It's like we have to do the writing for them, and I don't want to.
We have been through this multiple times where we'd have to pick up and write or come up with some kind of...
You have to assume.
Yeah.
You have to make up little excuses.
The other thing, the person thing, that we didn't say, she was doing a voodoo, but she had a straw doll, and she was able to say a magic spell with each one. That's how she was able to control the lady in the kitchen and the prison guard. And she actually told the prison guard, okay, now, for the other there's 6 guards, or there's 4 guards that line the hallway all the way up to the exit. well, you have to get a personal item from each one because she's going to use them in the spell to manipulate them so she can escape, which we kind of really already talked about. But I mean, there was a doll. I just wanted to make sure that that was in her box of, quote, religious things. And anyway, but that part was really good. That kill, I'm not into violence. It was really gross. God.
That's like the worst kill of the whole series.
I've never seen anything.
Because it just went on. And it's like, she really got tortured.
They had the things, too, I would say in this episode especially, about people's faces. Because the woman in the kitchen, when she dunked her head into a stew pot of boiling hot water and did all that stuff, like just pressing her face against the fryer, and then the Mary Poppins girl getting up and her whole face peels off, and then Chucky takes his Phantom of the Opera mask off, and he's got this old face with hair falling out, So I had this episode had a preoccupation with ugly ass faces.
Really?
I think so.
Yeah.
So anyway, I give it a C2 for the same reasons, and that's it. So if you like this podcast, please give it a thumbs up and become one of our subscribers and tell us what you think about the episode and what do you think's going to happen next.
I think the writers are just going to get even worse.
Well, they showed some scenes for next time, and I don't know.
I don't know.
I just
either.
Don't know.
I think they're going to show ghosts in the White House, which I do like that because I did think that was a good idea to do.
Well, they showed them looking up at the ceiling. I didn't see anything. I just thought, well, am I not seeing it? But because Mary Poppins was saying, I see them.
Yeah, like
when
she got up and everything and she was walking around, I had thought that was her ghost and that they were showing a ghost. I didn't think that she actually got up.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. And then she stands up and her face peels off and she falls to the ground. So, goodbye, everybody.
Bye.